Hello, my fellow comic book collectors. Well, this weekend I went to Toronto's comic convention and sort of a mixed result for me. I had my two kids with me, and what happened was we actually bought tickets just for my son and myself. The two of us were gonna go, but then my daughter said, "Oh, I really want to go too." I thought normally she's like really busy, like she's sort of at that she's in grade 11 and just really focused on studying. So it's really hard to get her to do things. So I didn't think she was going to be available. So we didn't at first get her tickets. And then she's like, "Oh, I really want to go." And so there was only half day tickets left. So we were all forced to make it a half day rather than a full day. So so we got there at like 3 o'clock. It only runs till 8, so we had 5 hours, so pretty good amount of time. So this is my little card, you know, Saturday pass, Toronto Fan Expo, which is the big convention, comic convention in Ontario, in Canada. So this is like the big one. And yeah, so we get there at like 3 o'clock. I'm like really excited. I actually tried to I'm like I told my kids, "Hey, you're gonna help me record videos," and we can make. I was trying to make it fun. They have no no interest in that. Just so the video, I just couldn't record any videos. And then they wanted to look at Funko Pops and swords. My son wanted to get some kind of like anime sword. Um, for like sort of cosplays kind of stuff. He likes sword fighting. So we were looking at some stuff for him, but I wanted to dig through the long boxes. I wanted to like hunt for comics. So, obviously, I did manage to get most of the time devoted to me, but and I was like, just when I hunt, just you guys do something. Go over there. Look at your Funkos. But they would just like sort of lean over me and poke me every so often as I'm like digging through these long boxes and trying to find good deals. So yeah, I felt like a really bad dad because I should have probably entertained them more. But at the same time, I really was looking forward to this. It was like 2 years waiting for a convention, and I really was excited to, just really hunt for comics and meet some cool collectors and stuff like that. It just really didn't happen. So I did manage to dig through a few long boxes, and I did manage to find a few things, and I did manage to meet some artists too. So I did do some of the things that I was trying to accomplish, and there were some really big books that I really wanted to buy, but I knew if I bought in front of my kids, that would be the end of my like relationship with my wife. She'd be like, "Oh, you spent this much on a comic?" It just would be bad. So I sort of had to tone down my shopping spree a bit. I had to really, find more affordable books. So, with all that being said, you're probably wondering what the heck did I actually get from the convention? I love my kids, so like even though I'm like criticizing my kids a lot, I really do love them. They're great kids actually. Um, I shouldn't criticize them so much, but I did get some great things. So first thing I got was actually some supplies. It's really hard to get supplies nowadays, like boxes, comic bags, and stuff like that. So one of the things that I was really having difficulty getting was these like my lights for the graded comics. So I got like four of these, so like 100 my lights. So some mylars for my graded comics. So now they'll display a little bit better. I can put some more up with the mylars. So I was kind of excited about that, and it was a pretty good deal. So I was like, "Oh, if I get like four of them, will you throw in some comics?" They had a bunch of comics, so I was like, I got a signed comic, from them as well. Um, and then I actually met some cool artists. I'm going to show you one of them. One of them is Dan Parent. He's known for doing Archie, and he had his own little comic thing. This is it, uh, Cat House of Horror. I thought it was kind of interesting. So I thought that was kind of cool. I have to bag these. And so I got him to sign it, and it's also signed by the writer, I believe. Or I believe he's the writer, and it's like, yeah, so I got them signed. So this is just the Christmas special, and then there was another variant version. I thought these were really kind of nice. And the one that I really liked, and I've been trying to get all of these kind of homage covers. This is Kitty's House of Cat House of Horror, but it's an homage to Suspense Comics number 22. So I really was like, oh wow, really great. So I actually saw this advertised on eBay. I almost bought it, but the shipping was always brutal. So I was quite happy to find this. And another comic that I really like, and I guess they re-released it, is Jetta. I've been trying to get a couple of issues from Jetta, the original series from the pre-code times, and yeah, just this is kind of cool that I found that too. So I got all those signed by Dan Parent. So he's the artist for those. He did all the cover art for those. So yeah, I believe actually he did the interiors as well. And then what else did I get? So I got a bunch of stuff. So I met some different vendors, and I bought just some modern books. Actually, it's kind of weird to buy stuff that I can get from my LCS, but some of the stuff that I just didn't pick up from my LCS when it came out. So We Don't Kill Spiders and White Widow. I didn't have any of these, so number 2, I missed out on it. And they had a store variant. This was done by D.H. White, I believe. So I met him actually at the convention. If I didn't have my kids, I could have gone back to him and got him to sign it, but my kids were kind of pushing me a lot. Oh, yeah, RB. I guess it's RB White. Sorry, RB White. I was getting his initials incorrect, but he was a great guy, actually, really nice guy. So he was. I met the artist. I actually talked to the artist for a little while, but he was selling a lot of like vampirellas and all these things. And my kids are a bit conservative when it comes to women being skimpily dressed, so they were like keep on pushing me to try to leave. So I was trying to talk to this artist. I was trying to buy some of his original art. But again, I couldn't do that with my kids. So that's White Widow number 1, some store variant. And then they had this one, Jennifer's Blood number 1, and another store variant. I guess limited to like 100 or 200 issues or something 200 copies or something like that. And it's kind of interesting. They got like a model, and they kind of photoshopped her to kind of look a little bit comic-y. It's kind of interesting. And then I thought this one was great, a Vampirella store variant as well. So I think this is Vampirella 25, their store variant. I thought it was pretty sexy. I thought it was kind of interesting. So yeah, I managed to get my kids looking at Funkos when I bought those ones. So, and I did manage to dig through some more cooler long boxes. And there was one guy, he had really great pricing. Like a lot of the vendors, like I was actually a little bit disappointed. The pricing wasn't the greatest. Like I was looking for Lois Lane books, and the pricing for issues that I normally can pick up for $10 to $20 were like $100 to $200 per issue. I was like, what? I just didn't want, and like I have all the keys from the Lois Lane series, and to spend $100 on something that I was paying literally $10 for like a week ago, like didn't make any sense. So a lot of the long boxes, they were just really overpriced. But there was some vendors that had some really great deals. And one of the vendors, he had a bunch of Submariner, Silver Age Submariner. And he was charging $10 Canadian, which is about $8 US. So, and I would say like a VG4, or 4.0 kind of grade. So that's Submariner. And then we got another Submariner. And this is like the first appearance of Gargantos. And I guess they actually thinking of bringing, like, there's a character, actress has already been sort of assigned the role of being Gargantos 2, whatever that means. And maybe it's a code name, but maybe it's the character from this. It's kind of like a squid-like character or octopus-like character. So yeah, just I thought it was a great cover anyways. I was really more interested in the cover, but it just is a kind of cool first appearance. And I again paid $8 for it, US pricing. So then there was Submariner number 14. This is the first Silver Age appearance of Toro. And it's just really kind of a cool cover. This one was a little bit more expensive, but I worked out a deal. And basically I got this book and this one, which is the first appearance of, I think it's pronounced Lyra. And this is Submariner 32. And then this book, which is like maybe a 3.0 version of Amazing Spider-Man number 28, the first appearance of the Molten Man. So kind of a nice book. It's a little rough. You can see that it's a little bit rough in here. So it's maybe a 3.0. It's got a lot of staining. I think that can be cleaned off though. So yeah, so that's a 20 in the first appearance of the Molten Man. And I got the three of these books, these 3 books, for $200. So I kind of worked out a cash deal. I got those 3 books for $200. Normally he had them at like $40. So I was like, I thought it was pretty good to kind of negotiate and get a better deal on that. So $200 for those 3, I think, was a reasonably good price. So yeah, so that was pretty great. He had some pretty great stuff. I wish I had more time. I just really didn't have time. The kids were poking me the whole time. It was pretty hard. So yeah, so the next thing was I actually met somebody that was doing kind of like modern versions of like classic books. And I've seen these on eBay, and I almost bought them just because I thought they were kind of books that I might never get. And to have these kind of modern versions of them might be kind of interesting. So, and I guess it's a Canadian company that's producing these. So I met the guy that owns the company, and he was a really nice guy. And he does some of the art. I guess he worked for Disney for a while. And I got this one signed by one of the artists. I forgot what the guy's name is, but he did the cover for this. So it's Phantom Lady. So this is, I believe this is Phantom Lady, I want to say 16, but I might be wrong on that. Or maybe it's 20. I'm not sure. I'm getting the issues number mixed up. But yeah, so Phantom Lady, nice, redoing of her cover, like a famous Matt Baker cover. They actually inside they reprint the original cover as well, so you get both. But it is a reprint, obviously. But it's kind of cool, and they limit the printing to 200, so they're pretty scarce books. So the next one is another Phantom Lady. I thought this was quite nice too. Really well done. I thought these modern artists did a pretty good job of their takes on the classic comics. So that was quite nice. And another Phantom Lady. So it was like they had a deal where if you bought 5 books, you get them each for $15. So which is Canadian, which is about $12 US. I'm trying to translate all the pricing in US, but so yeah, so I bought 5. So there's this one, which is another Phantom Lady. And then they had a really nice Chamber of Chills. This is a very famous, a very iconic cover. I thought they did a really nice modern take on it. I really liked it. This is a book, the original, I'd really love to have in my collection. So, but not finding it so far. Okay, and then another comic that I really love to have in my collection is this one, Planet Comics number 41. I've actually seen this one on eBay, and I was debating about picking it up. I've actually seen it. There was 2 copies. One was like just the cover. It was like literally just the cover. and I think even just the front cover, not even the back cover. And I think they were selling it for like $50 or $100 or something like that, just for the cover. I was like, no, I'm not gonna buy it. I'd like to get the full comic, but I just think it's a really great comic, a nice, and this is their modern version of it. So, and again, as I said, they reprint the original inside the book, so you get both. So I thought that was kind of cool. Met them, met the artists. It was kind of an interesting experience. Um, and this was the free comic that they gave me. The other company that gave me the My Lights. So King Spawn #1, signed by Finch. I actually saw him at the convention, but I didn't talk to him. So he was also, the artist was there at the convention as well. So I thought that was kind of cool. But I didn't get to speak to him, which was kind of weird. But I didn't get to speak to him. And I got a really great deal on one of the first comics I bought. And it was like, you always want to start off on a good note, right? So first comic I got was this one. I thought this is a comic that I actually ordered once before. And the seller didn't send it. He's like, oh, it got lost. I don't know what happened to it. And he refunded me, but I was really disappointed because I had bought it but never got it. And I got this for $5. Not bad. I thought it was pretty good. It could use a clean and press, but I think there's nothing too bad. It's got like, I'd say like a 4.0, 4.5 if I'm lucky. you know. I think what they rated at. Yeah. I think they rated it as a 4.5. So that's what I would rate it at too. But yeah, really kind of a great iconic cover for Hawkman and Ant-Man. Hawkeye, I should say. And then we got another cool artist that I met. So was Bill Morrison. Now, if you're not familiar with Bill Morrison, he was actually the editor and artist for Treehouse of Horror. Treehouse of Horror is like I like The Simpsons. I really enjoy The Simpsons, but I really love the Treehouse of Horror. I think they really, that's sort of the cream of the crop in terms of Simpsons episodes are the Treehouse of Horror ones. So I got Treehouse of Horror #1, but there was a few issues that I didn't have, and these are them. So he signed them all for me, and it's just really great covers, and you can see how much I paid. I paid $10 Canadian. Again, that's about $8 US, so not too bad. And this one was a little bit, kind of #6. This is a really great Bart Simpson one, and he signed it as well for me. Really great guy, actually. Just really very oh yeah, he's just sort of really nice guy, actually. And I guess yeah, he's he knows so many other artists. So we're talking about Dave Stevens, and he was telling me all about Dave Stevens, and he was telling me how great of a guy Dave Stevens was, and I told him I love collecting Dave Stevens art, and he was like, I collect Dave Stevens art too. It was kind of interesting to hear artists say that about his fellow artists. So it was kind of cool. So yeah, Bill Morrison, really great guy. And it was cool to get I talked to him for a little bit, and I wish I could have recorded it because he was just such a great guy. And he did all these really great art. I really like his style, actually. So yeah, Treehouse of Horror #6. And then some other cool books that I found. So I did find some cool books. I was kind of hunting and doing it as quickly as I could because I literally would get there would be a row of long boxes, and I'd have maybe 2 minutes to look at them before I get poked by my kids. So I had to go oh, I got to look at this box, and I flipped really fast through it, and I would sometimes find something. So one of the cool books that I did find was Batman 230. This is just a really cool book. I love controversial books, and this has that controversy. It has the Black Panther on the cover. That's pretty great. It's pretty crazy. So I just think it's it's a low grade. I paid $30 for it. Actually, it was, I think they wanted 40, and I talked them down to 30. So, which is about 24 bucks US. So, I thought that was pretty great. That was a good find. So Batman and Batman 230. That's a really classic Silver Age Batman. And then another, there's sort of a weird theme that I was noticing. I was finding all these homage covers for crime suspense stories, 22. So it's like, this is the Wolverine one. This is a really famous cover, actually. I got it for $30. I talked them down. I always talk the vendors down, and I use cash as a way to get the price down. So if you're ever at a convention, always use cash to get a better deal. You don't pay taxes generally, and I shouldn't say that too loud, but you don't pay the taxes, and generally you can get a few dollars off the price. So I was able to get this for 30. I thought it was a great deal because it's mint. It is just a beautiful copy, and it is such an iconic cover. It's like Wolverine with Sabretooth's head. It's just really great. So that was a big steal. That's Wolverine 55. So, and then also with that same guy that I got, he actually, the deal that I mentioned with Molten Man, there was actually two other comics that were in that deal. So I didn't mention these. So again, there was some Aquaman. So I picked up a couple issues of Aquaman from him as well in that deal, the $200 deal with like all those books. So it's a pretty great deal. So I didn't pay that much. So it was Aquaman 17. No, I'm not sure if there's anything special about these, but I'm getting like a little run of Aquaman. I kind of like to get all the Silver Age Aquaman. And this is Aquaman number 15. So that was it. That was my comic haul from the comic convention in Toronto, which is known as the Fan Expo. And it was pretty great. It was cool to meet all these artists and stuff. I kind of felt like I wish I had more time, because I could have given more time to my kids to really help them find some of the things that they were looking for. I was trying, like we were looking at Funko Pops and all these. My son did get a cool sword. So he did get his sword that he was looking for. He got this like Attack on Titan sword. It was just really cool. Like, if you're not familiar with Attack on Titan, it's about these like giants that are basically, eating humans, and there's these defenders that have like these cool swords that they use to like basically try to kill these giants. I'm a big fan of the show, actually. And it was just cool that he has this sword, and it's like, it looks pretty cool. It's a foam sword, so he can whack things with it and like not hurt anyone. So that's a good thing. He wanted to get a metal sword. I thought, pretty dangerous. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna let him go that way. But yeah, the foam one, I thought that's pretty safe. We can handle that. So that was my comics experience. Now, you probably wonder, what was the big comic that I really, really wanted to get? And what it was a Fight Comics number 41. And Fight Comics number 41 is an awesome cover. It's basically this woman in bondage on the cover on this like Mississippi steamboat, and she's on the wheel, the big paddle at the front of the boat, and she's tied to that, and obviously it's going around, so she's tied to it, so it can't be good. So it's just a really great cover. It's like one of those ones that some of those fight comics have some really amazing covers, like if you're into kind of interesting bondage covers, good girl art. It was a really great comic, really high grade. It was like a 7.5 or 7.0. But he wanted like about I talked him down. Like, he originally had it as 1800 US, and I talked him down to 1800 Canadian. So and then I further tried to talk him down to 1600 Canadian. I was really pushing the boundaries on the price, but I still felt like it was a bit too much for that book. I think I can get it a little cheaper elsewhere. So I was debating about it. It was one of those ones where if my kids weren't there, maybe I would have picked it up, but ultimately I decided not to pick it up. So that was my comic journey at the Fan Expo. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry I didn't have footage from the Fan Expo. It just didn't work out. So thanks again for watching. Bye for now.